Minju Oh from ABN. As a young generation in South Korea, it feels like the cost of living is soaring after COVID-19 pandemic. Do other Koreans feel the same? What about foreigners? Let's go and find out. How long have you stayed or lived in Korea?
So I've lived in Korea for around almost 4 years now.
So before living 4 years in Korea, you lived in Philippines.
Yeah. Almost the entire time. Went back to Korea like sometimes like over the breaks and stuff, but most of the time I lived in Philippines.
저는 사실 이제 한국 들어온 지 2달 정도 됐어요. 그 전에 저는 중국 상하이에서 살다가 왔어요.
It's about like 2 years.
I came here like last September, but every break I come back to Russia, so it's like in total 8 months.
I have lived here for 6 months.
I've lived here for almost like 5 years.
In Korea, how much do you spend in a month?
I would say it's around like million won in a month, maybe a bit more, like million and hundred or something like that.
For me, it's also like about million once, I think. Like sometimes I can ask for some extras, sometimes I have extras, so I think about like million won.
400,000 won, but that's because I don't pay rent or living expenses.
700,000 won.
I think it would be the same, almost like maybe 500K.
한 170만 원 정도 나오는 것 같아요.
이만큼 쓰시는데 혹시 부담되지는 않으세요?
부담이 되고 좀 많이 지출이 좀 크다고 생각이 들어요.
I think it's quite comfortable, like because I just like get some fast food or something like that, and I don't need to get a shopping or something.
I do feel like Korea is way more expensive in terms of the cost of living, including the food, transportation, the housing.
Compared to Philippines.
Yeah, compared to the Philippines.
Right now I am comfortable. Yeah, it's 400,000 is enough to like enjoy going out. If you want to buy clothes, you can still buy clothes. If you want to eat outside, it's enough for you to live.
Do you think your monthly income, do you have monthly income in the first place? Like, for example, like tutoring?
We're not allowed to to do tutoring as a students. I wanted to find a part-time job, but for now, no, I'm not working anywhere.
Yeah, me too. I don't have part-time job yet, and I don't have my own income, unfortunately.
I work part-time, so I'll probably be earning only around 1 million per month.
Is it enough to cover your expenses?
It is enough to cover my expenses. Plus, if I want to save, I can save the rest of my money.
매달 지출에서 가장 큰 비중을 차지하는 게 혹시 어떤 종목일까요?
식비가 제일 많이 나오는 것 같아요. 한 70만 원 정도?
Probably food, or when I'm like going out with friends, like karaoke, different like cafes, like like this really cute cafes where you just eat the dessert and like drink the coffee like with cats or dogs.
So something that you do casually, normal days, like
Yeah.
movie tickets, going out for a movie,
Yeah.
they are just expensive
Or
on general.
travel, yeah, or travel sometimes.
Hanging out with friends costs too much.
Yeah, I would say yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I usually spend the most, I think, of my monthly budget on food. But also, yeah, when I go out with friends, my spendings a day like increase a lot, like twice, maybe 3 times sometimes. It depends on a day.
I think it's about the food, like because we don't do cooking, so we have to eat outside.
I have the same response because like we all live in the dorms here, and we do have a communal kitchen, but no one really uses it. So most of the time we just spend our most of the food.
Food and clothes would be the most of my expenses.
중국 상하이랑 비교하셨을 때 한국이 가격이나 물가가 어떤 것 같으세요?
2배 이상 차이 나는 것 같아요. 일단 음식이 진짜 2-3배 더 비싼 것 같아요, 한국이.
Compared to other countries, do you think Korea is more expensive or has gotten more expensive if you have ever been to Korea before?
I mean, it's my first time being in Korea, and I mean, before I didn't travel a lot, but before I was like in Singapore, and Singapore is much expensive. I'm fine in Korea. I think it's pretty decent here because Singapore is like if you heard about it, Singapore is a really expensive country, like the housing, the food, and everything.
I've been to Korea actually 2 years ago in like 2022, and I know that like prices went higher, like yeah, when I came like last year. Yeah, but like in comparison to other countries, I don't think like Korea is like that much expensive, but I think it gets worse like each year, I feel like.
Do you have like a particular area, for example, like housing, food, that is particularly getting more expensive?
I I think housing and food, because like quality of the food I think like decreasing, but like the food itself is like getting like only more expensive, like especially like vegetables and stuff.
There's this famous bakery in Korea called Paris Baguette, and there normally there will be bread back in the day like 1,000 or 2,000, but now they're selling for about 4,000, 5,000.
Are there any particular areas that you feel is too expensive in Korea?
So for me, since I've lived in Seoul, I feel like the housing, it depends on like what area you live in Seoul, because I've had like some friends who actually pays rent there for like 700K, 900K. So
Food costs have definitely gotten up over the past few years. Not just food in general, but like everything. I think also the cost of living in Korea has gradually gone up over the past few decades.
Do you buy meals?
Since most of the time I'm not home, I'm either at school or at work, I do buy most of my meals. In the Philippines, everything is quite cheap. Like in general, I think an average meal there would cost around 4 to 5,000 won. But here, an average meal would be above manon. It would be above like 10,000, maybe 12, 13,000 won. So it would be around triple the price here.
If you could lower the cost of an item, so one item you really want to lower the cost, what would that be?
Housing, because it's, I don't know, I think it's really expensive. The deposit, yeah, deposit is really big usually in Korea, and I would love to if it was like a bit lower.
Maybe like insurance for foreigners here, like it's also kind of like I just like sometimes don't understand why I need to pay this much.
You mean like medical insurance or some?
National health insurance, there's like 75K a month for foreigners. So I'm thinking like, is it low? I was 18 years old when I came here and I paid like 22K, and now I need to pay 75. So it's like a big difference here. Yeah.
We don't have insurance in our countries. That's why it's kind of a weird system for us that you need to pay for insurance every month.
When you don't need to go to hospital.
Yeah, I just found it weird, but I mean, I came when I was to Korea when I was 18, so I was from the beginning I was paying 70K around, yeah. And actually, if you actually got sick and you go into hospital or something, it's actually really cheap because you have the insurance. So I guess it works.
Maybe the housing. After this semester, we will find a house for next semester, and like I'm really like considering the prices between houses.
I do hope like they decrease like the pricing for the food though, because comparing it to the minimum wage, I feel like the minimum wage right now is almost only 10,000, I guess, and the minimum cost of food right now is about almost like 11,000, 12,000. So it doesn't really like make sense.
저는 식비에 돈을 제일 많이 쓰다 보니까 식비가 좀 저렴해졌으면 좋겠어요.
주로 밖에서 외식을 하시는 편이신가요?
네, 거의 다 삼시세끼 다 밖에서 먹는 편이에요.
감사합니다. 인터뷰 응해주셔가지고 너무 감사합니다.
네.